Sorry, I just started the episode with a sip there, but I really needed one. I'm back. In many ways, I'm back, as in I am every Monday. But also, if you listened last week, I was feeling a little bit run down. Couldn't quite figure out why. I think it was just run down, a bit of exhaustion. So I'd had no energy for just a few days of just not being able to do anything. In fact, what's happened is I've now been making up for that so much that this is actually the first time I've sat down all day. So I'm feeling quite tired. What time is it? 2:30. It's 2:30. I'm recording this on Friday because I go on holiday on Sunday, which is actually a very good time to go on holiday. Not Sunday. Well, it is, but that's not what I mean. Because I've been feeling run down, I've now had a chance to sort of recover. Now I can spend these few days being productive and getting jobs done, knowing that I've got a reward at the end of it, which is to sort of switch off, which is what I'll be doing as of Sunday. I do have an 8.5 hour flight to get there, but that'll be fine. You can switch off on the plane, can't you? You just sort of sit there like a toddler and just sort of watch TV and get fed. So yeah, that'll be lovely. So yeah, I recorded the last episode on Sunday before the Monday, then watched the World Cup final, which I watched it sat on my armchair, or in my armchair, on my armchair, on the armchair, in the armchair. Which one is it? On the sofa. You're on the sofa, but are you on or in the armchair? You okay, Mr. So I've got Richard Parker at my feet. He's just pawing at the chair a bit. You okay there? He's probably a bit confused because they often do this. They like to do this to scratch at like a chair or something. It feels good. But sometimes he does it when he sort of wants to let me know he's a bit confused about something. And it's probably the fact that I'm just sort of sat here talking to myself. And he's hearing me talk in a way that, I'm not talking to him because my voice isn't going, okay, mister. He's just, if you heard that, he responded. He's okay. He's been out all day, just in the garden, lounging around. And then he's just come in and he's sort of just sat there at my feet. But he seems happy. Doesn't seem to want anything. I think he just wants to be around me. I did get the suitcase out. I think he spotted the suitcase and he knows what that means. I think that's what it could be, Also, the cat sitter, Lisa, she came over yesterday just to check over things. And he's probably put 2 and 2 together there. I think that's what it is. But he loves her. They got on so well, Lisa. Lisa's a vet nurse as well, so he's in very good hands. And she loves him. She talks to him with a cat voice that's sort of like more extreme than mine, I would say. So if you're watching this, I should say, I always have a different record behind me. Usually there's a bit of a game where people can guess what the record's for. Like, for example, when it was the World Cup, when England were all singing Wonderwall to the players. I had Oasis behind me. Then when we played Mexico, I had Rodriguez. Anyway, you won't guess this one, but I have Bruce Springsteen's The River behind me. And that's because one of my best friends, Leon, and his wife, Jo, had a baby, had their first baby, had a boy called River, which is a great name. What a name. Before, they were actually quite open about just sort of discussing the potential names. And when they said that one, I was like, please go for that one. It's so cool. It's so cool. I did always think when I was younger, actually, if I had a son, I would want to call him River, because my favourite film, Stand By Me, so it was River Phoenix. And then Garth Brooks, one of my favourite Garth Brooks songs is The River. And then I just like rivers. But I've not met him yet. He was born on the day of the World Cup final, which is cool. And so no, yeah, I've not met him yet, but I go on holiday on Sunday, so I'll meet him when I'm back, which is nice. It's good to have something to look forward to, isn't it, when you get back from holiday? So yes, so I've been looking forward to having this one up behind me for a while. I think he was almost 3 weeks overdue, so I've been waiting. And then I messaged Leon and said, could I put that up there just in case? I don't know. Like they haven't told everyone yet. Maybe he doesn't want people to. But yeah, he was fine. So yeah, River. So yeah, very cool. What a name. And then I love Slow Horses, River Cartwright. Great character. Brilliant. Yeah, I'm excited to meet him. So yes, I go on holiday on Sunday. So I have a show tonight in Oxford. It's Friday. Yeah, I'm recording this on Friday because show tonight in Oxford, and two shows tomorrow in. One's in St Albans at the Comedy Garden, and then one is at Union Chapel in London. So busy day, and it's been a busy week. And obviously they've had family coming over to meet him. People have priority, and then or they sort of save them best till last. I don't know, but I'll get to meet him, and then my other friend Dustin's just got a new job as a tour guide on the riverboats, on the rivers. So it's a very river heavy week. I mean, obviously his news isn't quite as big as Leon having a baby, but the point of me saying that is Leon was saying how cool it would be to take the baby out on the water, which is a saying, isn't it? Take the baby out with the water. Take the baby. Throw the baby in the water. I feel like Jay-Z sang about it. I was going to have a sip of my tea while I think about that. Did Jay-Z sing? What was that? Throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's a phrase, isn't it? Heaven knows what that means. Throw the baby out with the bathwater. What could that possibly mean? Don't just throw everything out without thinking, because you might throw the bath out and forget that there's a baby in there. Maybe? Maybe it's like if you're trying to get rid of stuff, don't include everything, because there'll be valuable things in there as well. I mean, it doesn't have to be such a harsh saying about a baby being thrown. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm going to have to give that a Google. First Google of the episode. Cool, my phone's going off. What am I looking for here? What am I looking for, Richard Parker? Oh, throw the baby out with the bathwater. I think he's just rubbing up against my leg there. You okay, mister? Throw the baby out with the bath water. What does that mean? What does it mean? Discarding something valuable while trying to get rid of something unwanted. Yeah, okay, great. I got it right. But yeah, also, not the most important message from that. It's also, don't just needlessly leave a baby in a bath to the point you don't even know it's in there. But yeah, lovely. So, I'm excited. It's good, to have a holiday and have something to look forward to when you get back. So I get to go on holiday on Sunday with my family, then come back and meet River. So that's been this week. So it's been good actually, because I've started to feel productive again. I actually had a meeting this week with a producer, and she's a producer, and there was a director there, and they were having asked me for basically, we had a meeting. I can't really say anything, but we had a meeting anyway. And they both get migraines. And what day was this? Maybe this was the Monday when I still wasn't feeling great. So I did message them and say, just, I'm not 100%, but they're very good. They sort of got it. They said, we both get migraines. And basically they said, do you ever get euphoria after you've been ill. And they're both very smart. Both very smart people. They used to make Horizon documentaries, and one of them writes STEM books, and they said it's a thing where after you've had a migraine, a few days later you will have euphoria, and because they said about migraines, and it was a similar thing. I think I was feeling of just drained, and they said if you've never had a migraine, you cannot fully understand what it is. Some people think it's just a headache, but it's not. It's like it takes over your entire body, like your very being is just sort of I can't quite think of the word, but anyway, I guess maybe today is sort of a euphoria feeling. I sort of got up, went straight to the gym, came back, put a wash on, had a good breakfast, had a shower, did some sorting, sent some emails, doing the podcast. Feels like I'm back. I also created 2 deadlines for myself this week, and I managed to hit both of them. Sent off 2 show ideas, and there's another one that's a bit further on down the line that's doing very well that we are sending off today. So I think when I'm in the car on the way to Oxford, I'm going to have a meeting from the car, and we're just going to go over some things and then send it. So that means end of the week, Friday, just before the holiday. All the deadlines, everything I needed to do. I had an audition coming as well, sent the audition off. Everything feels complete. So yeah, feels like I can properly relax. So one thing I think I do have to do, Richard Parker's looking a bit hungry. I think I'm just going to feed him. Do you want some food, Richard Parker? Oh, he was just about to lie down then he looked at me and went, what was that? Let me just see if he wants some food. One moment, but I'll keep talking to you. Yes, so I've got to go to Oxford. Yeah, is that nice? He likes rubbing up against my leg, and I just sort of lean my leg back into him, and we seem to both really enjoy that. Just going to put the microphone there. I think you can still hear me. So, here we go. There you go. Is that good? Good boy. He's been a bit funny. And I think it's because he spotted the suitcase out. Yeah, the suitcase was out. Then the cat sitter came over yesterday just to check in on a few things, and so maybe he's put that together and he's figured out what's going on. Maybe he's being a bit funny there. But so my phone's just flashing up a little bit and it's slightly distracting me. So I'm just going to check everything's okay. Let me see. Sorry. Okay, that's fine. And that's nothing. I can ignore that. And so there was something about. So I'm just going to have to reply to an email, a text message, but I can't really tell you what it is because it's people. It's a TV. One moment. Sorry. Let me just. So I'm going to pause the podcast for one moment while I reply to this, and I'll be back in a second. Sorry, this is really annoying. Not just me doing this, but me having this message. It was a very annoying message in more than one way, many ways. Anyway, people. So yeah, I'm. Where was I? Oh yes, I've got to think when I'm going to pack. So I will. I'll pack probably tomorrow night, Saturday night before I go. Yeah. Which may have just filled some of you with a slight sort of sense of panic, but I think that's only the time I'm going to really have. Also, I've just put a wash on, so that stuff needs to dry before it's packed. And there's not much, to be honest. It's a hot holiday in Florida. It's just shorts and t-shirt, and there's also it's a villa, so you can just put a wash on. So yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, that'll be fine. So I'll do that tomorrow night. I've just been sorting So I should say the holiday, what it is, because I've not been able to say much till now. So we're going to Florida with my family now. We used to go a lot when we were growing up. My mum used to work for American Airlines, so we would get, I think, like free flights or like very cheap to fly standby. So I remember us going to the airport in the morning. We'd have to dress quite smartly because standby, you're just waiting for any seats to get available. So it could be that like you end up in business class, which was obviously insane. When I was like a child, like so excited that we would get that. And then my mum was like, just dress smart, and it just helps them understand that, because obviously a lot of people have paid for business class, and then you don't want just like scruffy children or teenagers or whatever. Maybe one of my sisters was a teenager by that point. I'm trying to think how old I was, but maybe not. But, children. And sometimes it wasn't that. It was good because it was my mum's colleagues. They were obviously trying to help us out. And it was obviously the done thing. If somebody from American Airlines is going on holiday, you fly standby. But then problem is you could get some people who were standby who were like higher up the chain or like from America flying back or anything. So basically we'd get to go there for very cheap. I don't even know if it was free. I don't know if it was just £100. I don't know what we paid. But we'd go get a villa, go to the parks. It was really cool. So now my sister, she has children and she likes to take them. So she and her husband booked a villa. Now my sister, the one I just spoke about, she's also got a daughter who has children of her own. So my niece, how old's India? 25? She's got twins. So her and her partner, they were thinking, you'll come out, my mum and dad will come out, I'll go out. So when they booked it, and then my niece with the children, her and her partner, they were trying to buy a bigger place. So they were like, oh, we can't really afford to go. So my sister was like, oh, okay, but we got the villa. It would have been nice for everyone to be there, but okay. And then my mum and dad were like, yeah, we'll come out and see you. And then I was like, yeah, we'll come out. We'll go out and let's sort of have a holiday. As soon as I booked it, I was like, I feel a bit bad on my niece not being there. So I messaged her and I was like, what if I don't get the twins any presents for the next few years, birthday or Christmas, and then so you come out. So they don't know that they're going. So the reason I can't talk about this now is this will come out on Monday. We're flying Sunday, so we'll be there. In case they're listening. I doubt they're listening to this podcast on holiday, but just in case. Anyway, so they're going out as a surprise. So they think, they don't realise they're coming out. And in fact, some of my nieces, God, this is confusing. I'm trying not to use names because people might not, I never know if people like their names being mentioned or not. Maybe some people are quite private, especially India. But her sister, so I'm a great uncle. So then my nieces are also now their aunts. They were like really sad that they were leaving the twins behind. Obviously, they didn't know what was coming. There was a point of me last week where I was like, should we just tell them? Because I don't want to ruin the first week of their holiday. And then it was decided that we shouldn't, because it will be a nice surprise. And actually, they're there now. We're all in the WhatsApp group. Everyone's messaging. They're having a great time. So it's fine. But that will be lovely. I just need to pack. Yeah. So I need to, after this, go to Oxford. 3 more shows over the next 2 days. And then I can switch off. In fact, someone asked me if they could call early about a work thing. And I was like, I don't have any time. They were like, oh. And what's annoying is actually, it wasn't a question. They said, I'll call you. They messaged yesterday and said, I'll call you tomorrow to go over the thing. And I went, why don't you ask if I'm free first? Not free, actually. So I replied today. I went, sorry. I was very polite. I never like it when people just, because I would never dream of doing that to someone. I'm going to call you tomorrow. Just ask. Just ask. I think as I'm getting older, I'm getting a lot more good, very good at boundaries now. And also I just find people more annoying than ever. Just, yeah, I'll call you tomorrow. No, you won't, actually. And then someone else messaged me. You free next week? Oh, no, that wasn't a question. Let me know when's good next week and I'll give you a call. Not good because I'm away. I'm on holiday. So no day's good, actually. And if they'd asked nicely, I could find some time if there's something that needs to be talked about, but go away. I'm just getting another sip of my tea. Great. Luckily, I just had another nice message from someone else I'm working with, and she's very nice, and she just sent a nice message. She's a good person, so she sent a nice message. That's made me feel better. I sort of got a bit annoyed then. She sort of knows how to talk to humans. I definitely need a holiday, don't I? I think that's what this is. I just think I just need a bit of a holiday. Need to just go away. What else did I do this week? Oh, I did a lovely show yesterday with Tom Allen. So Tom Allen has a gardening show. I think it's called Pottering with Tom Allen. And you record it in his garden and talk about gardening, which actually, luckily, you don't really, because I would not have been able to give much. I'm more of a houseplants guy. That's a very North American way of sort of describing yourself, isn't it? I remember when I lived in Canada, people would say stuff like, I bought a car. When I lived there, I had a car, and then they were like, oh, if you need a mechanic, I've got a guy. I'd never say that here, although I do have I don't need to because I'm very lucky with having been very, very nicely looked after by BMW. Hashtag gifted. They take care of everything. But before that, when I had my own car, I did have a really good mechanic. But I'd never think to describe him as my guy or I've got a guy. And then over there, they'll be like, oh, I'm more of a... like if I talked about American football, they're like, oh, I'm more of a basketball guy. They really like to sort of label themselves as that. However, I just did. I'm more of a houseplant guy. But we didn't discuss that on the podcast. Luckily, we just sort of spoke about stuff I could talk about. But it's a lovely show. He's got a lovely garden. I mean, I appreciate a houseplant, but I also appreciate a good garden. It's lovely. So we sat in the garden. And had a lovely show. So I think that's out on Thursday. If you just heard that last bit of waffle and thought, oh, I want to check that out, I think it's out this Thursday. I think. So if it is, go and check it out. Tom Allen on YouTube. Yeah, I'll have a little look, see if we get any Mondays in the comments. But yeah, that was a lovely show to do. And I don't want to give anything away because you can just go and watch it. But we just sort of spoke about, what did we talk about? Tom and I have known each other for years. We did a tour of the Highlands together. And we talked about Hampton Court Palace. And tea. We just, stuff that we talk about on here, but it was me talking with another person. So yes, go and give that a watch. Or listen, I think it's also a podcast, but it's on YouTube. And it's, I think it's like a nice sort of switch off show. And I did tell him that I do this show, and he said, oh, that's good. Again, it's a similar thing. It's supposed to be calm. However, it was just me having a rant about people for a few minutes back there. Sorry about that. And also yesterday I tried to, two things that were very confusing. One of them's a lot quicker, so I'll tell it quickly. I'd got travel insurance sorted yesterday. And for some reason, it's cheaper to get an annual multi-trip insurance cover package. I didn't know where I was going with that. Than it is just to buy for one holiday. So for one holiday, it was like 80 something pounds for 11 days or however long. I think it's 11 days. But if I get, because I'm going to be going back and forth to and from America over the next year, that one, £30 cheaper. Can somebody please explain that to me? Not even per trip is that. That's it. It was either 80 something pounds for 11 days or £53 for 12 months. Answers on a postcard. Why do people say that? Why do people say answers on a postcard? Well, but you never, even when TV was in the olden days, you'd never send in postcards, would you? Would you send in postcards to TV shows as your answer? Why do people say that? Answers on a postcard. Let's have a look. Let's have a look where that comes from. Oh God, I just remember something else I need to do before I go away. It's because it's July. Answers on a postcard. Because it's July. You have to do your halfway through the year tax, where they basically predict what they think you might owe them, so you just have to pay them loads. If you're self-employed in the UK, I think you pay something, and it makes that they're like, oh yeah, if you pay this now, it then means January next year you don't pay as much because we've already taken a bit of pay. You go, well, no, you're just asking for my money early, and you're sort of just predicting it. Very weird. Answers on a postcard, please. Is a British phrase. Means a short reply, a call for help with a hard question. Old TV and radio shows, broadcasters used to ask viewers to send real paper postcards with contest answers or comments. Postcards cost less to mail than long letters, making them quick and easy to sort. Thank you. There we go. Great. Everything I needed there. Answers on a postcard, but you can just what on earth is that? You can just reply in the comments. You don't need. What did I even ask? Oh yeah, why is the insurance cheaper? So I've just been tagged in something and I can't figure out what it is. I'm very distracted this week. I think I've got a lot going on. My brain's busy because it's switched off a bit. It's sort of now in overdrive. When? What? I've been tagged in a gig that I don't think I knew I was. Did I know I was doing that? Oh yeah, I did apparently. Oh, okay. Doing a gig in Peckham. Peckham Playground. Thursday the 1st of October. Me and Dara O'Brien. Okay. Oh, there's a few people on. Tim Key. Ed Gamble. Eddie Caddy. Sarah Pascoe. Jen Brister. Paddy Young. Oh, okay. Peckham Playground. Well, it's not till October. Nothing to think about now. So Richard Parker's gone outside. So he was here, and I fed him, and then he went out of this room, into the kitchen, he's gone out that other door, and now he's sat in the garden, looking at me through these doors. I think it's because he knows I'm going away. He's very smart with stuff like that. He'll sense it when the suitcase is out. Then I think, yeah, Lisa coming over yesterday. He understands what's going on, I think. And he's just probably checking, have you gone? Yeah, you going? Maybe he wants me to. Get the house to yourself. When you were younger, and your parents would go out and you'd have the house to yourself. God. I wonder if that feeling ever leaves you. That moment of just having the house to yourself. Like, you live with I wonder if you're like a dad or a mum and your children go, you must be. You just always go, oh. It still feels like when you're younger, I bet you just go, oh, that's nice. Yeah. Because when you're younger, you sometimes, I'd go and ask my mum, can I go out and play? Can I go over to Luke's? Worried she'd say no, but she'd probably go in, yeah. Can't believe his mum's wanting to have two of you. Yeah. Can't believe this. Brilliant. My mum used to she loves cleaning. Loves cleaning the house. I think that's where I get it from. I did have somebody reply to a story I posted the other day of my house, and they said they couldn't believe how tidy it was. And I said it's because of my mum. She's very tidy. Her friends used to think as a joke when they pulled up. Back in the early noughties, 90s, people would just turn up unannounced. Her friends would do that, and my mum would just be hoovering or polishing, and they would think she was doing it as a joke to be like, look, I'm busy. I just whistled when I spoke then. But look, I'm busy. But and they would all, I remember them asking that, oh, you must have just got that out when you saw us pull up on the drive. And I was like, no, she's always doing this. She'd put a record on, and then the house would smell of polish. Still, their house now is very white, very clean. It's very clean and tidy. and I'm the same. Especially tidy. Had a big clear out this week. I actually took a suitcase full of clothes down to the charity bin yesterday just to get rid of stuff. I sometimes just get it in my head. I wake up and I look around and I go, there's too much stuff here. I need to get rid of stuff. And I just cleanse it out. And it's just a drive down with a suitcase and just clear it out into that bin. And you come back and you feel so cleansed. Yeah, it's really nice. So yeah, and I like doing that. And I've got a charity shop that I have to walk past to get to the gym. And I sometimes just put a bag of stuff, and I put a bag out, and I'll just casually just fill it up over a few days, and then it's just anything I go, I'm not going to wear that. It's tough when it's summer now, and then you look at a jumper and you can't possibly ever imagine putting a jumper on, and then you regret that. But I've got some winter coats on mine up, thinking, didn't wear that last winter. That's probably it, isn't it? I think if you go a season without wearing something that's seasonal, it could probably go. I've got a coat I've been eyeing up in there, and I've just gone, you could probably go, actually. You could probably retire. Although I've thought about doing vintage, but then I don't know if I could bother with the hassle. I would be the one where people bought stuff and then I just never send it. I just forget. And then what do? Pause your shop when you go on holiday? Because if you ever buy something from Vinted, it'd be like ships in 3 to 5 days. I've never seen it go, a message to be like, I'm on holiday. It's like now, if I put stuff up and someone messaged me over the next 2 weeks, I'd go, I can't possibly send this for weeks, by the way. And you'd be so annoyed, wouldn't it? Because people want everything now. I saw this week people posting a lot about ASOS. I think ASOS has started doing a bit where it tells you what your return percentage is. And I couldn't believe how many people were sort of openly talking about that. I thought they'd be too embarrassed because of all the packaging and everything and all the waste. Like in the world we're living in. And all that plastic being sent around and sent back. I thought people would be a bit more embarrassed to go, oh, I've been sending 90% of the stuff that I buy back. Vinted's good for that, because Vinted, even though you are using plastic, it's not new clothes as well. That's the thing, isn't it? They're also saying I'm buying loads of new... And it's often stuff like, what is it, Shein? Shein? And some of the other ones, they're like... it's sort of clothes that I think you'd wear once, and then you'd wash it, and then it sort of like, it lose all its shape or colour. I just imagine it's stuff like that. It's designed, basically, isn't it? Just to be worn like once or twice, and then it just sort of like shrinks in the wash or whatever. What am I talking about? I don't know. Let's go into the comments. I think I'm really switching off, ready for holiday mode. I think that's what this is. This feels like that last day of school energy. I should have bought in a board game. Did you all do that? Is that a reference that makes sense for everybody? But you bring in a board game. And last day of school, everyone brings in a game. You just play. And then I remember, who was it? Was it Johnny Simpson? Him saying, well, why would we even come in today? Why, if we're not doing anything, like, why come in and have a day when nothing happens? We don't learn anything. Pardon me, sorry. And I remember saying, well, because otherwise, yesterday would have been today. Yesterday would have been the board game. There always has to be the end one. You can't work and then just stop. I said, yesterday would have been the board game day. And he went, no, yesterday we had, what was it? Whatever lesson we had, whatever we were doing. He was like, no, yesterday we had maths and science history. I said, yeah, but if that was the last day, we wouldn't have had that. We would have been having a day like today. He went, no, we had all those lessons. I went, yeah, but that wouldn't have been the case, would it? Because this is... So basically, if people have been annoying me all my life... Johnny Simpson I once had an argument with as well, because he couldn't understand the fact he was taller than me, and that didn't mean he was older than me. What was I doing? Looking at the comments. Oh, actually, I should say this. So last week we were talking about lucky numbers, and 16 was very popular. Talk about lucky numbers, and I talked about my lucky number being 28. Then I had a message from somebody called Vivian. And she messaged me on Instagram. I'm going to read it word for word. Hello, Jake. As someone who speaks Cantonese, I think I need to tell you a bit more about your lucky number 28. 2 sounds like easy, and 8 sounds like good fortune. Hence, 28 is a super lucky number for everyone in Hong Kong. Bracket, since we speak the language there. 28 means easy to have good fortune / lots of money, and nobody would dislike that. Hence, the number 28 is used a lot in personalised car licence plate, mobile numbers. I wonder if mine has it in my number. Let me read out my number without actually doing it. Almost ends in 28, but there's a number in the middle of it. Hence, the number 28 is used a lot in personalised car licence plate, mobile number, and pricing of products. Oh, they price products with 28 to entice people to go, oh, actually, you know what? What did I buy once? And I remember looking at the price, and because it was £28, I thought I should definitely buy that then. Yeah, I did. What on earth was it? It was an item of clothing. I remember seeing it going, 28, yeah. Keep up the good work. Oh, thank you. Love your podcast. Thank you. And hope to see you in one of your gigs soon. Vivian, brackets from Hong Kong and now living in Bristol. How lovely is that? And she's actually replied to, sorry, I think easy wealth is a more correct translation than easy fortune. Fortune means luck too, but 28 is all about money and wealth. Oh, lovely. 28. So 28 there. That must sound Cantonese. Let's look what else people have been saying in the comments. Oh no, that's not good. For some reason, we're talking about nothing works. I just went to my Spotify, opened up Spotify, and it just told me to log in, as though I've not got an account. What's going on here? Oh God. Password? No idea. Log in without password. Okay, check your email. Open email app. Oh God. Spotify. Hi Jake, welcome back to Spotify. To complete your login, select the button below on your mobile device. Right. What do you mean welcome back to Spotify? I never left. What was that about? They said welcome back. Very strange. Oh yeah, so one of the other things I had this week. Oh no, it's logged me out of everything. What has gone on here? Log in. Why would that have happened? So what happens is when you have a podcast, Spotify, enter the code sent to your phone. Oh, the number the code they sent me had a 28 in it. 272844. So there we go. Something positive happened out of something quite annoying there. How strange. Everything to do with Spotify. So you get Spotify, the regular account, then Spotify for creators, which is if you have like a podcast or whatever. And I just got logged out of both. No idea why. Well, one of them thinks I left. So yeah, so I got travel insurance, and I tried to hire a car. I spent ages yesterday looking at car. My dad said he uses a website called stressfreecarrental.com, and I thought, yeah, but I don't know. I don't think someone my age shouldn't be taking sort of like website and computer advice off their parents. I think unless it's Bill Gates, you just go, okay, that feels like. So I looked around anyway, and I checked it out. I sort of went on some reviews. It seems like a legit website, but I wasn't. It's basically like it's like a compare the market thing, I think. But he's found one, and I think he has to feel like he sort of wants everyone to know this because he found this. I don't know how he found this website, but it does. It sort of breaks it down for you. You can put it cheap, and then, as in like cheapest to most expensive, most relevant, all that stuff. So I ended up using Enterprise. I just went to Enterprise. And I put all the details in, needed everything. Passport number, driving license number, flight number, time I'm going to arrive, time that I'll be leaving, how many years I've been driving, do I have any, all that stuff, of course it needed some of that. My address, all this information. Put it all in. I went to go pay now, and the pay now box was just grey. You just couldn't do anything. It's like, tap, and I was like, oh, it doesn't work. So I scroll back up. Everything's fine. Nothing's there. And then it loads, it disappears, it comes back. So sorry, there was an issue. Everything's blank. So okay, right. So I'll just refresh it. I'm like, so let me start again. Go through, fill out all the information. Then I realise there is the button, pay now button, is still greyed out. However, you can click upgrade for an extra 170. That button is very clickable. You can click the upgrade. So I clicked the upgrade one, took me through to the pay now with the upgrade. Then I had to deselect the upgrade, then I could pay now. Is that just something they're just like tricking people? It was also trying to get me to add insurance that was, I noticed, if you read through the small print, was already actually on there. It was already covered everything. They're just trying to like say extra stuff. Got a car sorted in the end. Just an idea. Nothing works. One moment's got to reply to another message. 1 second. Oh God, sorry. I don't know how that happened. I told you what I wanted to do. Reply to a message. Oh my, it's doing it again. What is happening? I don't know what to do. Why is that happening? Everything I say is typing in WhatsApp. It's still happening. What is going on? Everything I said, everything I kept saying. I've just closed the app. Everything I kept saying would just type it in the message. Whoa. And nothing everything I was saying to you was coming up on there and typing. Right, let's have a look at some messages. Alison, feel better soon, Jake. My favourite books are The Treasure Seekers by Enid Blyton from my childhood, The Venice Sketchbook, my favourite city, by Rhys Bowen, and The Winter Ghosts by Kate Moss. Different Kate Moss, obviously, if you I'm aware there's also an author. I do have one of her books somewhere, a Kate Moss book, but I think my mum reads her a lot. And what one was that? The Winter Ghosts. Let me check if I've got that. I've got one of hers somewhere. My mum, that's Kate Morton. That's another Kate Morton. I've got one of hers somewhere. My mum reads them. I remember her passing one on. I can't see it anywhere. Oh, okay. I've never read one of hers. Thank you. Feel better, Jake. This is from Harvey. Thanks, Harvey. Feel better, Jake. Top 3 books and what I'm currently reading. Where I'm Calling From. New and Selected Stories by Raymond Carver. And he's but a genius at work. Wow. So I had to butt them. The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. One of the first books I connected with. When I read that, I read Catcher in the Rye in 2014. And yeah, same thing, I think. Where I connected with it. I remember I finished reading it and I just had to go out for a walk. I was up in Edinburgh and I just stopped reading it, put my shoes on and just went out for a walk and just tried to think about everything. He just sent me out for a walk. That book. It's what he was reading when he killed John Lennon, wasn't it? He said it was based on that. Does do something to you. I had to go for a walk. I was just walking. It was at night and I was just trying to take everything in. Yeah. On the Road by Jack Kerouac. I read that in 2006. confirmed my ambitions to travel across the USA one day. Yeah, if you've not, I imagine you know of the book, Jack, On the Road by Jack Kerouac. His follow-up book to that was Big Sur, wasn't it? I think that was him sort of dealing with his success. And they say On the Road is why everybody sort of, the American road trip is the thing people want to go and do. And they say it's the book that, I don't know how you get the number right round on this one. It sold 1 million pairs of Levi's and 1 billion espresso machines, or the other way around, something like that. It was that version of America with jeans and Levi's and coffee. It's all from that sort of culture, basically. Good list. Oh, and I'm currently reading. This is a book by comedian Dimitri Martin. Very silly, but at the same time very clever, and is making me laugh out loud in parts. Wow. I remember reading The Beano when I was younger, and that made me laugh out loud. But I can't remember the last time a book made me laugh out loud. A book? Actually laugh out loud? Not yet. Julie, hi Jake, my top books have moved with the phase of my life. Agatha Christie's are probably the books I've reread most. I'd like to try others. Recommendations for a change, and now very much appreciate Lucy Foley. Thanks to you. You're very welcome. And she's doing where is her? She's doing an Agatha Christie collaboration this autumn. Murder at the Grand Alpine Hotel. I've got an early copy of it there, but it's not out till autumn. Don't want to show off, but I've got one. Currently revisiting my Japanese phase. The detective series by Seishi Yokimizo, and the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series by Kawaguchi. Yes, I've got Before the Coffee Gets Cold somewhere. Where is that? Yeah, I've gone through a few Japanese phases. Who is it? Toshikazu Kawaguchi? And I remember reading Kitchen by, is that Banana Yoshimoto? I've got a few. Oh, there it is. Before the Coffee Gets Cold. Just seen it. This one here, yeah. The global bestseller. Before the Coffee Gets Cold. Yeah. Have I got others? So what did you say about that? Is that what you're currently reading? Currently revisiting my Japanese phase, the detective series by Shikimoto, and Before the Coffee Gets Cold. Oh, the series by Kawaguchi, translated. Blimey, yeah, translated, yeah. I'm not reading these in Japanese, but yeah, lovely. Got mine there. And a reply from, I think Harvey's replied to this. Before the Coffee Gets Cold was my last read. Thought it was brilliant. Oh, there we go. And more. Cider with Rosie. Don't know that. The Heart's Invisible Furies. Alias Grace. Currently reading Before the Coffee Gets Cold by... What is happening? Currently reading Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. Why is everyone... What's happened? It's like number 16 all over again. What is going on? Julie said, I'm revisiting my Japanese phase. I'm currently reading Before the Coffee Gets Cold. Then Harvey replies, Before the Coffee Gets Cold was my last read. Then Anna Moore writes, currently reading Before the Coffee Gets Cold. So we were talking last week about starting a book club. It turns out we've started one. We just had no idea. I was away last week, so I didn't add my number. It's 48. Oh, again, I'm not sure why. But when I see it, I feel safe and comfortable. Sounds like heat exhaustion. 48. Heat exhaustion. Huh? I was away last week, so I didn't add my number. It's 48. Oh, as in... because that's hot. Again, I'm not sure why, but when I see it, I feel safe and comfortable. Sounds like heat exhaustion. Or maybe you're saying because I was exhausted last week. That sounds like heat exhaustion. That sounds like heat exhaustion. Stay cool. I see. Sorry, it's separate sentence. Sorry. Couldn't figure. I think because earlier on Vivian had said 28 sounds like good fortune or good wealth. I thought you were saying 48 sounds like heat exhaustion, and I couldn't figure out what on earth was going on. Thank you. Maybe it was the heat. In which case, I'm going to really suffer in Florida. Lisa Miller, get well soon, Jake. Sorry to hear you are under the weather. Thank you. I would definitely suggest heading to the doctors if you haven't already. I don't really go to the doctors. I did go once. There was a few years ago I was suffering with exhaustion, I feel like. And I just, every time I went out and did something, and my energy levels seemed to really dip, I called the doctor and spoke to one GP where they call you back, and she said it was all in my head. My top 3 books in terms of enjoying them and being able to read them multiple times are The Hobbit, J.R.R. Tolkien, Dune by Frank Herbert, Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I read all sorts though. Really hope you feel much better soon. Thank you, Lisa, I do. Also, I knew the gifts would be from Julie before you even said, so I think she might definitely be the number 1 Mondayer. Oh. And then Silka said, get well soon, Jake. More in the comments on YouTube. I'll go over to YouTube in a moment then. Laura, aka Book Laura. Well, when I was a young teenager, I always wanted to turn 16. Oh no, I did this one, didn't I? Yeah, so I've done that message. So yeah, let's go over to YouTube. YouTube. Let's see if I'm logged in here. Does anybody here use Twitch? Because I could, when I do these, when I'm recording, I could do them live as well. I could do it on Twitch and people could comment. Let me know if you use Twitch. It's like the idea. You can like see my screen and we could like look at things together. Jake is blue. Here's the comments. I'm sorry to hear that you are ill and so tired. Take care. I hope you get well soon, Jake. My lucky number is 3, which crossed and still crosses my way again and again. Hope to see you on stage for the 3rd time. Number 3, in January in London. Oh, okay. I don't know what I'll be doing yet in January. I don't think I've got anything in the diary for January. Let me have a look. January. I've got gigs. My last gig, I think, in the diary is the 18th of December. But then I do have tour dates starting in March, I think. Right, what's happening here? I'm going to have to get ready to go soon. I've got this gig I've got to leave for. Matt Haig, The Midnight Train is the book I started to read yesterday. Oh, I didn't know that one. I don't know The Midnight Library. I didn't know you did a train one. I usually read loads of psychology and communication specialist books, which are some of my special interests. I try to constantly learn about... Hard to pick the top 3 because they're constantly changing. Wow. Lots of psychology. That's cool to have a special interest like that, just to love reading about it. Mine's American football. I listen to all the podcasts about that. Ashling, to add to the nothing works discourse, I'm a lawyer. What a highbrow bunch. And this concept really comes into its own for video court hearings. Classic example, last week one party couldn't get into the hearing. Eventually they made it. Success, not quite. We couldn't see them. Their webcam was not cooperating because nothing worked. Suddenly, we can see them. Success. Nope, still not quite. Because he can hear us, but we cannot hear him. Person leaves the hearing, rejoins. We can hear him. He can't hear us. Worst part is, we celebrated it as a huge success when after around 30 minutes of this, it eventually worked. In reality, nothing works. That's the thing, when everyone cheers because something actually works, that's the worst. From Liz in Melbourne. Hope you're feeling better by the time you're reading this. Thank you. Books. Reading now. Richard Osman's The Bullet That Missed. Top 3. So hard to think off the cuff, but these come to mind in no particular order. The Kite Runner. Full On Ugly Cried. Oh, I've got The Kite Runner up here. At least I've got all these books. The Kite Runner. Yeah, got that there. I'm going to grab it in case you don't believe me, because I grabbed the other one, and I'm worried that people would go, I reckon he just said that because he looked and then didn't go and get it. There it is. Obviously, if you're only listening to this, you have to take my word for it still. But it's right there. You can you can listen to it. The Kite Runner. Pride and Prejudice. How could I not? I don't have that one. The Girl with the Pearl Earring. Don't have that one either. Beautifully quiet in its writing, that I felt like I could hear and feel everything. Same goes for The Lady and the Unicorn. Also by Tracy. I don't know how to say the last name. Chevalier. Jake. This is from Angela. Jake, have you ever checked your iron levels? I take gentle iron every day and a vitamin B complex to help me absorb the iron. So, yes. Thank you. I just wondered, did you seem to have these bouts of tiredness? Yeah, and I take that, the iron, the supplements. What's iron? I don't know what iron's in naturally. I had tender stem broccoli yesterday. Turbo Kitty. But thank you for checking. That's so lovely. And a good choice of book. Sorry, I moved on quickly from Liz. With your top 3 books. Kite Runner, Pride and Prejudice, The Girl with the Pearl Earring. Girl with the Pearl Earring. I think I should read that one. I think I'd enjoy it. Turbo Kitty. Tokyo equals Formula E this weekend. Oh, okay. Are you there? Tokyo equals Formula E this weekend. Hope you're feeling better now. One reply. Julie's put, very jealous. I used to travel to Japan on business. I think it's time I went back. Right. Tokyo, Formula E this weekend. What have I missed? What's the context here? Tokyo, Formula E this weekend. Hope you're feeling better now. The girl I met in the street, she was going to Tokyo. And I knew she did something with Formula... Thank you. Formula E is in Tokyo this weekend. That's why she's there. Lovely. Thank you very much. Right. I now have 35 minutes to have lunch, jump on a Zoom call, and get ready to go to Oxford. Wish me luck. Right. Next week I'll be on holiday. I will try and do an episode if I can. I will try my best on Monday to do an episode. I'm not sure when, I'm not sure how, but I'll try and get something out to you. In the meantime, Pottering with Tom Allen. I was on there. Go and give that a watch or a listen. It was really lovely to do. So yeah, that's my recommendation this week. Great book selections. How funny that we're all reading before the coffee gets cold. That's sort of blown my mind. Number 16 and that. I'm very confused. But wow. So it turns out we do have our own book club. It started. Right. Thank you for listening and for watching. Or for watching, or both, if you do both. I'm always, I was going to say good, okay at this until the sign-off. Anyway, thank you, as always. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you have a great week. And as always, maybe, I'll see you next Monday. Bye.